There's never been a better time to have Sirius Xm. With even more exclusive content, with over 150 channels in your vehicle, including the widest, deepest variety of music, ad-free. Root for your team. Get news. Listen to whatever makes you laugh. And hear all about your favorite stars. Your Platinum Plan offer includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels filled with music and enjoy a favorite shows with Sirius XM Video. Thousands of hours of shows and performances on demand. What you love is on now.
So in our ongoing coverage of motorcycle audio, we've got plenty of premium brands putting out some solid product. But our feature brand today, I can say, is making a ruckus. And it's making noise in a big way with some very unique products in several different categories. Now, some of you old school cats might recognize the brand like I do. Or this might be brand new for some of you tuning in. But Precision Power is on the map in a big way in motorcycle audio. This is CMA Showcase Precision Power. And it starts now. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to this CMA Showcase presented by Sirius XM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. And today we're featuring for the first time this brand on the CMA networks. This is their first appearance, and it's being distributed in Canada exclusively through Auto Mobility. So we're talking about Precision Power in the motorcycle category. They've got a full lineup that we're going to learn all about today. We've got two product specialists from Precision Power that are actually joining us in the studio today so that we can go over the entire lineup. But before we do that, let's go ahead and invite our guest from Auto Mobility, their Canadian distributor, Mr. Michael Berger, who is their Vice President of Sales and Marketing. Mr. Berger.
Hey, Ben, how are you?
I'm excited today. It's always exciting when we get to do a showcase because that means there's something new on the radar for all our customers and dealers up here. A new brand that's kind of it's an old brand making a resurgence in a new category. I'd love to hear how you feel about PPI or Precision Power and the impact that it's making in the motorcycle audio segment.
Well, to say the least, we're very excited about what Epsilon and PPI have brought to the market with this motorcycle offering. It's definitely unique, and when we first saw it, we were like, "Wow, this is going to be something like you mentioned," and it certainly is. So we just got more product in, and we're really excited about this line. That's for sure.
Mike, Auto Mobility, you guys got some pretty solid brands, in your portfolio. I think everybody knows that. And not only do you have some solid brands, but a couple solid brands that are also vested in this category. So it's going to be interesting to see why strategically you brought it on. And I'm sure there's a very easy answer to that once we figure out what the product actually are and how unique they are. But what are you most excited to learn about today, Mike?
Well, number one, selfishly for ourselves and our dealers, when we're going to get more product, number one, because it's just, like I said, it's just selling like gangbusters, to say the least. And what else new is coming down the line in terms of their other future offerings? It's just not this couple of unique pieces. There's a lot more coming down the road. So,
are you saying we have a couple of announcements maybe that we'll cover today?
Yeah, maybe I'll leave that up to the folks down at PPI.
All right. Well, without further ado, I'll tell you what, we have a video that kind of sets the mood. It gives people some perspective about what PPI has been up to in motorcycle audio. And when we come back from this video, we'll go straight to their studios in California and get our learn on. So let's go ahead and roll the tape.
Do you want more from your touring bike? Here is motorcycle audio by Precision Power's most significant upgrade, Add Apple CarPlay and Android Auto using our plug-and-play HDHU 14 replacement head unit made for 2014 and newer Harley-Davidson touring models. CarPlay and Android Auto is a more innovative and safer way to use your smartphone while riding. Take what you do with your smartphone apps and put them right in the head unit's 7-inch touchscreen display. Get riding directions, browse and change music, all while staying focused on your ride. Plug and play the main radio harness connection and others like factory Harley USB cable, factory FM antenna connection, and retain the factory handlebar controls. Exceeding expectations, HDHU 14 was subjected to testing above and beyond industry standards, proving its suitability for riding in harsh conditions and long-term use. As a result, the head unit's bonded touchscreen earned a water spray IPX5 rating, protecting itself from any weather condition and even safe from a low-pressure motorcycle wash. We didn't leave out the motorcycle audio, guys. Whether you're setting up a new or integrating to an existing audio setup, we included 6 channels of 4-volt RCA pre-outs on the back of the head unit. Unlike the factory radio, the HDHU 14 has an adjustable 10-band equalizer in the radio's menu. Tune your system to your liking and have control over balance, fading, and adjustable subwoofer volume too. HDHU 14 works with Street Glide, Electra Glide, Ultra Classic, and Road Glide Harley-Davidson motorcycles 2014 and newer. For more information, visit motorcycleaudio.com.
So already in that video, I think we touched on a lot of interesting and unique features I hope we dig into. Guys, welcome to CMA for the first time officially. And I'd like to introduce, we have Ronnie Brashear, who's the Vice President of Sales of Epsilon Group, who's the parent company of Precision Power on the right. And on the left, we have Brandon Meyer, who's the Product Manager for Epsilon Group. Welcome, guys.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, sir.
How you doing?
Doing well. How are things up in Canada?
Well, things are rocking and rolling, and I can't say this morning I've been super excited to get on with you guys because, like I said, there's some pretty unique products which have been gaining a lot of traction. As Mike was saying, I think he used the term selling like gangbusters, and I think that's kind of the same story I've been hearing, from the K-Fest and all these other shows that have been going down. You guys have been getting a lot of traction. So I guess to set this up properly, this is your first time on the show. And for those who might be tuning in, mostly dealers who may not be familiar with Precision Power as a brand, right? Can you give us a little bit of an overview of what PPI is today?
Today, PPI was founded in 81. So we go back old school. And you fast forward, it was bought by Directed, then Epsilon. And the great thing is, nothing was ever wrong with the brand. It was just nobody ever did anything with it. And so a couple of years ago, we decided, you know what, we're going to change the face of this brand. And Motorcycle Audio was born.
Not only was it born, can I give you kudos for the URL, motorcycleaudio.com? Really? I can't believe that was even available.
I can't. Thank you, COVID. Thank you, COVID. I could not believe that it was there for the taking. Somebody does a search, they look for Motorcycle Audio, and we're sitting there waving at them. So
Amazing,
it's fantastic.
So history of PPI, obviously, like you said, back from the 80s, all of a sudden you did a shift. You recognize that there was a marketplace, obviously a potentially growing market for motorcycle audio. Where does it go from there? Where does PPI sit? And what is your outlook on the audio segment for motorcycle?
Well, motorcycle is continuing to grow. It's a very big segment. And what we're finding is 80s children like me that had that nice sound system in their car back then, they want that same experience to happen on their motorcycle. And so the segment is growing. We've got some more new products than just this that we'll mention today. It's going to grow significantly for us. PPI was always a car brand. And now we've taken that and put that into motorcycle audio. And I mean, we are having unbelievable success. This is out of a 25-year career. This is the most fun I've ever had.
Nice.
This is fun. No doubt.
Yeah, and fun, that term really goes hand in hand when it comes to motorcycle audio, because nobody needs this. Everybody just wants it to have fun and be loud and play and so on and so forth. I think everybody knows what the motorcycle customers like. So without further ado, we got a lot of categories to cover, guys. I'm looking at the list here. We're gonna be covering head units or source units. Then we're gonna get into some unique speaker offering that you guys have and some technology. We're gonna cover some subwoofer boxes, which is interesting. Some amplifiers, and we're going to finish with some wiring harnesses and mount kits. Did we get that right?
You did.
All right. So without further ado, Mike and I are going to get off to the back studio so we can give you the whole stage, and we'll get our learner. Go ahead, guys, and let's present all the power, precision power products for motorcycle audio. Here you go.
Perfect. And I want to start out Automobility. Thank you for partnering with us. We really appreciate the support we're getting in Canada. We'll start out with our head unit, which is the flagship. And we decided early on that we wanted to do something more than just make a double din that mounted in a plastic kit and used adapters. We wanted to keep it as original as possible, so that user experience was a better experience using what they were given from the Harley-Davidson factory. So let's start out. As you will see by the face, this is an exact replacement for the Harley-Davidson radio. There is no plastic kit needed, no adapters, no anything. It is a bonded screen, which gives it an IPX5 rating, waterproof. And we've tested this thoroughly over and over again. Talking to our customers while this was in development, direct sunlight washing out the display. That was always an issue with some of the other brands on the market. We made sure that doesn't happen. So you can be in direct sunlight with this head unit and still be able to see everything that's going on the screen. We took it a step further. We have a plug and play harness, which utilizes the same Harley-Davidson 48-pin connector. You're able to plug that directly into the Harley-Davidson harness without cutting anything. There are no adapters needed for the antenna or the factory USB. So for you installers out there that for other brands, you've got to run a USB to one side or the other, you do not have to do that with us. You will utilize the factory USB on the back of our radio. RCA wise, we give you front and rear 4-volt output. And then we also give you a sub out. When this radio started out, we had a certain set of software, and as things went along, guys were putting this in. They said, hey, can we have this? Hey, can we have that? So we have recently did a couple of software updates that have got all of those requests from those customers into this head unit. With this latest update, which was the biggest update that we've done, we gave them DSP type features. So high pass, low pass crossovers, 12, 24 dB curves, 13 band equalizer instead of a 10 band equalizer, which was mentioned in the video. So tons and tons of change. For mounting screws, it will mount exactly to where the factory head unit was. So 4 screws. I tell everyone it will take you longer to take the fairing off than it will to get the radio mounted, plugged in, and playing. We did partner with Scosh, and we've private labeled the thumb control, which the harness is built into the main harness. So the thumb control obviously allows you to volume up, skip track, keeps all of those factory features intact. The only thing that it doesn't do on some of the bikes, the right-hand thumb was a cursor to move around on the factory radio. You do not get that cursor because obviously with our radio, you don't need cursor. And the most important part is you gain CarPlay and Android Auto. Those are the biggest things. Guys were really looking for a CarPlay unit. We utilized that, put that in there. It does have RGB, and it started out, we gave you every color under the rainbow except orange, and that's on me. I mean, here we are in the Harley Davidson world, and I didn't give you orange. So in this last update, we actually got the RGB code for actual Harley orange. So when you turn that on, it matches the gauge. The gauges perfectly. So that's it on the radio, guys. Here is the back, and we'll move along to the speakers. And so with that, we kept in mind that we were going to develop speakers that were for Harley Davidson applications. And, you know, neodymium is a very popular material that you use on speakers with Harley Davidson. One, it takes less of that material to do the same thing that a normal car speaker would do. But I came into our engineering team and I looked at them and I said, guys, I need a speaker with no magnet hanging off the back. And they literally laughed at me. And when they stopped laughing,
Oh, we just got a little connection issue here. We'll get them reconnected and get them right back while they were talking about their speakers and their neodymium magnet. That was one of the best parts too. But we'll bring Mike back on here while we wait for them to reconnect. Mike had some questions about that head unit. Is there only one model in the head unit line series?
Yeah, currently there's one model. I don't want to burst their bubble, but there is a.
Oh, there's. Did I just touch on something that's coming down the pipe? Okay, yeah. I see. Right now, so far, there is one model that's available. And the other thing I wanted to ask was, I'm pretty sure I saw it there, but they didn't get to it. That model is also Sirius XM ready, is it not?
Again, that'll be on.
Okay, I'm really trying to take your steam at this point. Okay, I'll tell you what. Here's what I want to say. The last feature that they talked about there, they kind of slid it in, but man, from what I hear and what I see, it's like one of the biggest features is the fact that this radio has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I mean, I haven't seen one yet that does that. Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, but that has got to be one of the hottest reasons why people want this radio.
Well, absolutely. And, you know, a lot of our customers were using traditional radios, you know, like with a single DIN opening and a double DIN face to give their motorcycle customers that experience. It was a good idea at the time, but the only problem is, you know, it didn't have the plug and play harnesses, wasn't fully waterproof. You know, you had the glare issues, as Ronnie mentioned. So there were some negatives going that route. Mm-hmm. So this solves all the problems.
Absolutely. And, you know, I wanted to get also into the fact that a lot of motorcycle guys use gloves, right, when you're riding. So I was going to wait for them to come back. I'll ask the question afterwards, but I was curious about that as well, because touchscreen isn't something that's very abundant in the source unit category for motorcycle. So I wanted to ask them what, you know, how did they counteract that, or did they take that into consideration during the design?
Right.
So that's the other thing. While we're waiting for them, Mike, let's talk about the motorcycle business in Canada real quick.
Sure.
Obviously, Auto Mobility is kind of invested in the category with the brands that you currently have, and you're adding more. So that's got to mean something.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when we started out in the motorcycle category with Rockford, we you know, we didn't know, you know, what the market potential was. You know, we were pretty, I guess, it's like being a baby thrown into the water, right? You don't know what's going to happen. So, but typically, whatever happens in the U.S. will happen up here as well.
You recognize that, you recognize the trend, basically.
Yeah, obviously, because, you know, most of Canada, especially on the East Coast, and, you know, besides Vancouver, you know, the motorcycle season's only so long. Whereas in some areas in the States, obviously, it's 12 months a year. So I guess it's really like remote start season. So the motorcycle season, the marine audio season is exactly what the remote start season is. It's only a certain amount of the year.
It's a short window. It's a specific window.
Exactly. Yeah. So when we started with the motorcycle every year, and I think we started, what year are we in now? 2022? Six, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Every year we can't get enough product, and whatever we forecast, it's just never enough.
You blow it away.
And then with COVID, then we had another problem. So we even forecasted 3-4 times, and we still couldn't get enough product. So it's a good problem to have, but at the same time, because of that short window, you got to capture those sales when you can. But funny enough, now even guys are, because of the product shortages, they're even ordering it and doing their bikes in the winter, so it's ready for the spring. So
it's kind of like an extended season by default. Guys, thanks for coming back. I will get you guys set back up.
Welcome to rolling blackouts in California, ladies and gentlemen.
I knew that was a blackout. That was too sudden of a drop. And we are live, and this is what it's all about. So I just want to cue you back. You were in the middle of just starting out on teaching us about your walking into your R&D department saying, I don't want no magnet. We'll let you take it from there.
So I did. I walked in and said, I don't want a magnet hanging off the back. And they did. They laughed at me. And my facial expression didn't change. And they were like, oh, you're serious. So the technology we used, we knew that we were always going to use neodymium. But in what capacity, that's what we didn't know. So what we did, we've actually loaded the Neo or the motor into the tower that holds the tweeter. And if you'll notice up here, there's a heat sink around the tweeter. And a lot of our competitors that use Neo, there's a lot of heat that goes into the saddlebags. And I mean, those magnets can get hot enough, they'll burn through a jacket. Yes, there are plastic covers that you can put over, but what we found is that will trap the heat inside around the voice coil and cause voice coil problems. So we wanted to get away with that. Mike, can you cue that picture? And so what we did, we came up with this, and you can see from this thermal picture, it's actually drawing the heat out of the bag. And if the rider is on the road, the wind from the ride will just naturally carry that heat off. And that's what we wanted to achieve. We also had to figure out, it's got to have optimum power handling. It's got to be very efficient. So these speakers, both this and the 5x7, are 92 dB at 1 watt efficient, 100 watts RMS with a max of 200 watts. These right here, I have no better way of saying it, but these are a very musical speaker. Meaning that you get down, you get that mid-bass sound where a lot of speakers in the motorcycle market are loud. Yes, they will melt your face, but it seems to be all tweeter, and we didn't want that either. So these are a very rich, full-sounding speaker. We're also finding that guys they like these well enough that they're finding their way into the market of car and truck. The 5x7s come in a 2 ohm only, because we figured you would be replacing the CVO or the Harley factory system. You drop that 5x7 out, drop our 5x7 right back in, and just with that, you'll almost hear a doubling of sound just by changing to our speakers with a Harley factory system. We do offer 6.5s, 5.25s. They come in a kit that will come with all the grills you need: Tour Pack, Road Glide, Street Glide. They're all in there. We also give them to you in 4 or 2 ohm configurations, depending on your build, what you want to do. I also want to go back to the head, something that I forgot to mention. The head unit is 2 ohm stable. It's auto detecting, so it's going to know what ohmage that your system is set up at, and it will adjust to that. But it will go down to 2 ohm, which makes it great for a Harley factory system. From there, the amplifiers, they are finally at the port. So we have a 4-channel, 400-watt amp at 4 ohm. It's 100 watts per channel. At 2 ohm, it will do 150 watts a channel. Very efficient. This could run fairing, lowers, tour pack, and bag lids with no issue whatsoever. This is the harness, very heavy duty harness that comes with it. The great thing is we give you, again, the Harley plug that will plug into the back of our radio, plug into the Harley harness, and then plug into the amplifier. So there's really nothing at all that the installer will have to do. We've tried to make all of these products as plug and play as possible. The subwoofer box. This has been a labor of love. We give you 2 6x8 drivers in the back, on the bottom. It is down firing. And what we didn't want to do is we didn't want the consumer to have to cut out the side of their bag to get bass out. And most of the ones that are out there, you have to cut the side of the bag out. So what we came up with, there's an actual membrane out there that will keep the elements out, but it allows sound to pass through. And so what we decided to do is you will drill 10 holes in the bottom of the bag, utilizing these little inserts here. And I know it's hard to see on camera, but there's actually a membrane there, and they're riding in the rain. The water is not going to splash up back into the bag. This will keep that from going in, but it lets the sound out of the bag. We also didn't want a separate amplifier to have to find someplace on the bike to be able to mount that. So what we did is we made this self-powered. If you want to buy a pair of them, you can buy a pair of them. If you want to just buy one, you can buy just one. And you'll notice that our harness, it is proprietary. And Brandon came up with a great idea as we were doing this. This is actually underwater pool lighting cable. And you can't get much of a better waterproof connection than this. So all of your signal is run through this wire here, and everything just screws together. You can see that the gaskets are in there. Water is never going to get in there. If the rider wants to take the bag out and utilize their bag for a long trip, again, because these are in the bottom, the bag is still usable. You don't have to worry about moisture getting in. And then these just absolutely unscrew, handles, lift the bag, the subwoofer box out, and they are absolutely good to go. This right here, we're still fine-tuning it. It's not to my liking yet, but the minute that we get the sound where I want it, we'll immediately be able to go to manufacturer. So, and then lastly, the cut-in kits. And we decided to not sell our cut-in kits with a speaker included. There's so many other speakers out there. Guys have different tastes. You know, we would hope that they would buy our Precision Power speaker, but we also didn't want to limit ourselves to those customers out there. So what we did, everybody will recognize this basic kit, but we made some tweaks to it to make the grill stronger. And what we did here on the edge from the other competitors, we have widened ours to a quarter inch more than that. Does two things. It is a little more forgiving on the cut. And two, that extra quarter inch, believe it or not, strengthens this grill dramatically. And I do believe that, you know, most of the time, the passenger hops on the bike, he or she puts their heel into the grill and the grill just collapses on some of the other kits out there. We've seen that doesn't happen with these kits because, believe it or not, just that 1/4 inch has strengthened this so much that there's not as much give there. Also, on the underside of the kit where the 6x9 mounts, we did some measurements and we changed from the other kits. We gave it a 4-degree tilt. And what that did is on some of the kits that are in the market, you want to use a different type speaker. You have to actually Dremel out a portion of the top of the bag lid. With this, because of the 4-degree that we've changed, you don't have that problem now. This will pretty much take just about any type speaker that you want to put in our mounting kit. So again, you can get these kits 14 and up. They do not include a speaker. We also make the same kit for a 98 to 13. Same thing, no speaker involved. You can just order the straight kit and put in whatever speaker you would like to put in. And then lastly, the wiring. I liken this to Legos. Again, it's underwater lighting kit wiring with 5 connectors in. And you can utilize this harness on your initial install. And then let's say the customer wants to come back and he wants you to add lowers. You can buy either a T or the angle off of us, add that to the harness. And then again, you're going to have another plug that goes into the inside. You just add those lowers. You add those bag lid kits. It's just the initial harness is just a building block. And we have all the parts. At the end of the day, you don't have to worry about corrosion, anything like that. It is a very waterproof, very secure connection. And so product wise, Ben, I'm going to throw it back to you. That utilizes all the product that we have here. Ben?
Okay.
All right.
Thanks for that, guys. I took some notes, obviously, and I want to circle back on a couple of things. When we were talking about the head units, I didn't hear the application for the source unit. What is the range of applications for that?
2014 and up.
Road
Period.
glide, street glide.
Road glide, street glide, ultra.
Wow. Okay, it's a wide
And
range.
it can be adapted to an electrolyte also.
What you would require a trim kit for that? Is that what that would be?
No, it's all OE fit.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I did want to ask the question there, and I asked Mike, and Mike was like, save it for Ronnie. Does that unit have a Sirius Xm capability?
This one does not.
Okay.
So that brings us into the segue.
Oh.
What's new on the horizon? So Ben, we've got. My mind works so weird. We have 3 more head units coming out for Harley Davidson.
3.
3.
From
3.
from 1 to 4. Okay, that's a big jump.
Yeah. And it's sort of morphed into these. And I promise you, when they hit the market, they're all game changers. So the step up from this one will be what we call the SI model. And the SI model will come with Sirius XM. We are working with another partner that will integrate with the CAN bus system on the Harley Davidson.
Another partner for CAN bus integration. Gotcha.
There it is. We have a partner. And so it will give you GTS-like features. So the GTS is very popular because it gives warnings on the head unit, those type of things. We are working with a partner to duplicate that.
So less loss of actually virtually no loss of features for the end user.
None. We've worked so hard on this. And again, this radio here, I want everybody to know that this isn't the normal go to China, buy this off the shelf. This was Brandon and I built this from ground up, from the audio section to the circuit board layout to everything. This was a labor of love. So this isn't your normal $99 with a CD player type thing. This was built from the ground up. It's the real deal. It's the totally new.
Testament to that, unique in its category. Guys, I've covered them all, right?
Yeah.
This is very unique. There's some unique features in there. I told Mike earlier while you guys were your blackout, that the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay features.
And just to chime in there, the quality of the product is top notch. It's
fit and finish. I mean, we thought, I don't know how many prints of 3D prints that we went through fitting. No, Brandon, that's not good enough. He was ready to kill me. But I knew when we did this, it had to be perfect because all eyes were going to be on us.
Yeah, and you had one shot to do that first impression.
One shot, brother. One shot.
Right, 100%. I was just saying that CarPlay and that's a game changer for sure. Now, the question I had that I want to ask you, most riders ride with gloves, and a touchscreen is kind of unique in this space. So I just want to hear your thoughts on
is.
that.
So it's a capacitive touchscreen, which means whether you have riding gloves on or not, the face will still detect that you're pushing the buttons on the front of the front of the deck.
We went to our local Harley dealership and bought a couple sets of their gloves to verify that everything worked with the touchscreen.
Yeah,
great.
And being in California, we've got some great Harley partners out here that
for sure.
They let us walk in. Oh, it's you guys again. Which bike do you want?
I also thought a unique feature was the 2-ohm stability on the radio, the source unit amplifier, which is pretty cool. And did you say that was auto detecting?
It auto detects. Yeah. So it knows. So if you're at 4 ohm, you're 50 watts a channel. If you're at 2 ohm, you're 75 watts a channel, and it automatically detects.
The next note I have here is on the subwoofer box.
Yeah.
Very unique design. Looks like it fits perfectly, like roto molded perfectly to go into the bag. The unique drivers on the bottom and the membrane vents, I call them, I guess, ported vents, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah. That's a game changer in its own.
Well, again, I was going to say unique in the category. I haven't seen anybody else come up with that type of solution to getting the air out of the bag. But what I thought was really cool, well, two things. Number one, they're active. So you don't have to figure out how to, like you said, put an amplifier somewhere. But more importantly, they're available as singles, which is another unique feature.
Correct. And the reason that being, I just, if somebody is traveling, and I've been to Sturgis enough and some of the other shows, they pack those bags tight, man. And so, clutch side versus brake side, the bags are different. So we had to make two different molds for brake side, clutch side, because the boxes had to be shaped different. So you'll order a clutch side one or a brake side one.
Does it come? Is there any savings to order both, or they're just individual SKUs?
Nah, they're individual.
Gotcha. Okay. So what have you learned? I mean, you've been in the business for some time now in the motorcycle audio segment. So I hear we see on your YouTube channel, there's a lot of dealers that are involved giving their testimony and so on and so forth. So what have you learned from your top dealers who've been installing your gear successfully?
Well, we came out with what we thought was the best feature set. And then once you get into real life and real installs, people start speaking up and they tell you, hey, I need this, I need that. So we'll start with Carlos at NVS. I mean, he immediately called and he goes, look, man, I run DSPs. Sometimes there's a turn on pop because it's too quick and the bike hasn't fired all the way up. I need a 10 to 12 second delay. And I guess, what did it take us, 7 days?
Yeah.
7 days, we wrote the software and we had a new software update that you can just update through the factory USB right into our radio and update the firmware. And we gave them that 12-second delay on the remote start. Another thing that I didn't mention, we've given the dealers the ability to upload their logo after they install the radio. And so their logo becomes the boot screen So it comes up, and that is always there. So we have several dealers that are utilizing that feature.
Free advertising.
Free advertising.
I know Mike's probably smiling because, like, yeah, we got some product in the starter business that does that. Yes, that is a awesome feature that you could customize, especially you want to be proud of your work. You want to remind their friends where they got their gear. Easy. Nice feature. And that's a full screen logo, the whole nine, right? Color and everything.
The whole nine. Absolutely. And then, the second request was DSP is very big in the motorcycle market. Very, very big. And some of our top dealers just kept asking, can you give us some DSP type features through the firmware? And we're like, sure. So we went to the drawing board. That took about 6 weeks to rewrite that software. But then we came back, we gave them a 13-band EQ instead of a 10-band EQ. We gave them high pass crossovers. We gave them subsonic filters on the subwoofer side of things. So we added all of these features. Again, just a simple update. Download it from our website, put it on a USB, plug that baby in, and you got a brand new radio. And what we're finding is that every time our consumer does an update, the radio becomes new again. It's almost like our iPhones. We go from 15.4 to 16. And
it's Christmas.
Wow, it's Christmas again. I got all these new features. Same thing with the radio. It keeps it relevant.
Mike, did you have any questions for them?
Well,
where's my product?
Yeah.
When can I get more?
We just got a shipment yesterday and it's all gone already. So
yeah.
While I was complaining about when are we getting more product, Ronnie told me that some of the amps and speakers are in. So those should be on the way any day now, which is great.
So just to let the audience know, the amplifiers are at the port. We should see them next week. So that means that everything in the line is shipping except for the subwoofer box. So anything at motorcycleaudio.com that you see there is in stock and you can buy.
Very, very cool. I'm going to toss this question to Brandon.
Okay.
Can you share with us some of the engineering that makes, I'm going to the speakers now, that makes the speakers perform, even though the physicality, when you're looking at it, has you questioning the limitations of what it can do?
Right. It kind of makes you take a second look at it. But moving that motor structure from the back to the front does give us the opportunity to control a little bit of the thermal management, take a heating away from the voice coil of the woofer itself, and as well as the tweeter, so that we greatly eliminate that risk of overheating and burning up of the voice coil. So you're less likely to burn up a speaker while you're on the road and then go without your music. It's really the engineering into this die-cast aluminum heatsink that's in here, which houses the woofer coil as well as the tweeter motor structure. It's all built into one, and that big chunk of aluminum expels all that heat. The little ridges that Ronnie was talking about earlier act as heat sink fins, almost like in an amplifier that we're used to seeing for so many years. It's the exact same principle. It pulls all that heat away and greatly extends the longevity of the speaker. We were able to do all that without sacrificing any of the efficiency, without sacrificing any of the frequency response, while keeping great sound quality. So even though the looks are deceiving, it actually does perform just as well or better than traditional speakers that have that big motor on the back or that have that ultra hot neodymium.
Right. So no negative effects as far as the excursion limitations of the movement of the cone.
Zero effect.
Trust me, we have sat and let this play for hours
and
upon hours.
You probably put more power than you need to it just to test it.
Of course.
I love our riders because they know two volumes. Off. And
Everybody says that. Well, Harley riders is off and max. That's it. There's nothing else.
Seriously, and he's right. If your volume level is 50, they're trying to get 51 out.
No doubt.
So
no
absolutely.
doubt. Okay, thank you for that explanation. And I wanted to commend you also on the wiring. So that unique, what did you call it? Underwater pool lighting wiring. The connector.
It's all used in landscaping and in pool and in commercial like water parks and things like that. All those connectors all have rubber grommets on the inside, so you have 100% sealed connection. You can submerge it up to 30 meters or whatever the IP rating is for it. So it's bulletproof.
Like way overrated.
Really, for an installer, Ben, it's one run. Mm-hmm. It's just one
yeah, because it's all inclusive in that one cable.
And then you just start tapping off of it wherever you need to go.
But help me understand that. What's in there? You got power ground remote. What's in actual cable? What are you running?
So there's a separate cable for power and ground. We want to isolate that from any kind of signal so we don't get any noise.
Right.
But then the other cables have the signal that come from the head unit down.
Understood. And that's are those the cables that are included in the head unit, or this is a separate cable pack?
They're included with the subwoofers and the lid kit.
Gotcha, for the lids. All right, understood. Yeah. Okay. Going back to Ronnie, this is a personal opinion. I'd like to hear from you now that you're deep into this stuff. What did you feel has kind of attributed to the recent and rapid growth of your brand within motorcycle audio, and what do you forecast over the next short term?
Well, look, 2 years ago we decided to go on this journey, right? And I stopped selling precision power, period. Stopped selling it for 6 months. I wouldn't allow a box to go out the door. And that was to allow that internet channel to cleanse itself. And once we felt that was down to zero, then we slowly started selling PPI again, tracking serial numbers, putting a map program on it, everything that it takes to make money nowadays. Once we got that in place, then Motorcycle was born. Now, just because of the past history of the company, there's always been a question of, is this really good stuff? And I put my personal name on it. We went to different factories. We're building in Korea versus China and so on and so forth. But this motorcycle radio, when it hit and people, there was a question, but they bought one to try it. And once they saw that, wow, this is quality, they did a good job. We even had bigger accounts go, I can't believe they did this. They did this. This is really fantastic. It's an exciting place to be. So not only motorcycle obviously is its own category, but it has helped put PPI car back on the map.
Interesting.
Yeah, just to touch on that, just like vehicles, everybody wants CarPlay and Android Auto in their cars. Motorcycle drivers are no different. And, it's so much to the point that car companies, just as an example, are advertising CarPlay and Android Auto as the first features of the car because that's how much people want that technology.
Well, and I'm going to throw it out there. This radio comes with a mic that a lot of guys are hooking up. They're putting it below the windshield and using it for Google Assist or Siri or whatever. Hey, it's no secret. I don't think we're giving out a trade secret. The next upgrade, you are going to see Alexa on our head units. And so when you're pulling in, Alexa, open my garage. Alexa, turn on my lights. Mm-hmm. It's all going to work through the Harley radio.
That's you dropped some heavy bombs today, guys.
Dude, we have put so much into this. It's so exciting. And if you can't hear it in my voice, I'm telling you,
it's coming
in
through.
25 years, I am having fun. This is fun.
I just, I look at PPI. Okay, now I'm just talking to the old school cats tuning in. Like, let's go back to the Pastel days, right? Like PPI was a heavyweight, right?
Yep.
Heavyweight brand. You asked me, did I think in 2022 these guys would be excelling in motorcycle audio, coming out with like crazy source units? Never in a million years.
Right.
But yet here we are, right?
Here we are.
And you guys are doing it and you're having fun and it's clearly coming through. And Mike's happy because he's got some great product coming through to supply to customers and so on and so forth. Listen, guys, I don't know what else to say other than congratulations. Keep up the great work. Keep on innovating. We can't wait to see these new products coming out. And please let us know when that happens and we can circle back at whatever point. What final message do you have, Ronnie, for anybody who's tuned in here, a new dealer thinking about motorcycle audio, or maybe a veteran that says, PPI, huh?
Guys, we're the real deal. When we develop this, we're not playing. We are playing for keeps around here at Epsilon.
There's no BS.
No BS at all. Hey, I want to throw it out again. Mike, Automobility, thank you for being my partner. I appreciate you guys taking this task on and handling Canada for us. I'm so happy that we have you on board.
It's our pleasure, and like you guys really knocked it out of the park with this one. That's for sure.
Yeah, I want to throw up the graphic one more time.
And I know you have more products, so send it to us.
Mike had to get that in there.
He's going to get that dig in as much as possible.
Yeah. I just want to throw up the graphic one more time. You guys are interested in getting more information about these precision powered motorcycle products. There's their website. I can't believe they have this. motorcycleaudio.com. That's where you want to go. Brandon and Ronnie, thank you so much for taking the time. Wake up so early. I know you guys are in California, but really appreciate it. Great presentation, and we look forward to having you guys again.
Jen, thank you, Ben.
Talk to you
Mike,
soon.
thanks, buddy.
Thanks.
Mr. Mike, you're pretty excited. They're pretty excited about the product, obviously, and I know you're
Yeah.
pretty excited about it as well. I guess what I want to ask you is, game changers, right? They use the word game changers, and I think you even might have used that term as well. Which one of their products, if you had to recommend to dealers tuning in right now, which ones do you really got to pay attention to and call Automobility about?
Well, definitely the radio. All the products that they're coming out with are unique in their own way. It's great that you can buy the products individually, whereas some of the other manufacturers, you have to buy them as kits. So as Ronnie said, buying them individually for the reasons he explained, like when guys pack their bags, that's a perfect example. I didn't know about the heat off the, he explained a story where a guy put his Harley Davidson jacket in one
And
of
it burnt it right through the leather.
And it burnt right through the leather. Like these, these are things that, are great to know, and, our customers should know, and they're great selling points for, for their customers. And, as I mentioned, as a category, this category, especially for the 12 volt dealers, has just exploded. It's right up there with Marine right now. And, guys with Harleys love their bikes, and, they're not afraid to spend the money on them because they just love their bikes, and they spend a lot of time on it. And it's, motorcycle riding is, even though they go in groups, it's an individual experience as well, right? So they want to have great audio, and they want to have the toys on their ride, and PPI really knocked it out of the park for especially with this radio. Like,
well,
it's amazing.
Lucky for consumers and for shops, they got Automob to count on to call and book your order. So let's bring it up. If you're looking at this PPI product, you're like, got to have some of this. This is crazy. Give Mike and his team a call. Visit them at automob.ca. Automobility, the exclusive distributor for PPI.
If, like I said, bug Ronnie almost every day, steal from some of your US guys, don't forget about us up here. And he's doing a great job in getting his product, but, given the state of the nation, or the world, not the nation, but he's getting us product pretty fast, actually. And unfortunately, though, the demand is still outstripping the supply. So
it's a good problem.
Get your order. It's a good problem, but
get your order in.
Get your order in.
Bottom line.
So,
all right, Mike. That's it, buddy. Thank you so much for bringing PPI to the table.
And just one final note for my friends in Montreal, Austin Matthews, 60 goals. So
I tried. You see how I tried to cut you off there so that you wouldn't get to it, but anyways, you beat me to it. There you go.
All right.
Take care, Michael.
Okay. Take care. Thanks.
There you have it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Great presentation from the boys over at Precision Power and the really innovative products within the motorcycle audio category. And again, reminding you, if you're in Canada, you're interested in some of that product, give the boys and team, not boys, the team at Automobility a call and book you some of that awesome gear. Otherwise, you want to do some more research, check out Precision Power at their website, motorcycleaudio.com. Thanks for tuning in to this CMA Showcase presented by Sirius Xm. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.
I mean, yeah, it's time about
Stop it.
Today when I'm gonna go
Yo, roll it down.
I am.
You don't need a car to listen to Sirius XM. You can listen anywhere. You know that, right?
What? Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio.
Kevin, you could use your phone.
What? What?
Alexa, play Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio on Sirius XM.
What?
This is how I know you're getting old. I guess that was it.
What?